Hello, and welcome to another video. So today, I'm not going to talk about running! Yay! Today I am going to talk about my vacation. I'm not really going to, I didn't take any videos while I was in America. Actually did take some video, but it's for my classes. If you really want, I'll put them up, but it's only driving was one of them, and the other was audio from ordering in a restaurant. So if you really want, I'll put the driving one up, driving around North Carolina, but if you don't, then I won't. But anyway, but I am going to make a video and tell you about the kinds of vacation days you get being a JET member participant, participant of the JET program. So with the JET program, you get 3 different kinds of leaves, and I think this is pretty standard, even without the not including JET program. I think it's pretty standard. But the first is called NINCU, and that means yearly vacation. So it's the amount of days you get yearly, paid leave, basically, paid leave, and you get 12 of those on the JET program. So you get your NINCU, your paid leave, and you could take those anytime. Of course, you have to request permission from your school, and if they really need you, then they might say no, but I've never had a problem taking my NINCU. So that's one type of leave. The second type of leave is called kinshu, and it means basically like study leave. And in the JET program, you get 8 of those. And the thing about kinshu is you could only take those on holidays, like on, not holidays, but school holidays. So if the students are out of school, if the students have a vacation, you can take those days. You get 8 of them. So during winter vacation and during summer vacation, and I think during the very small break that they have during between years. So school ends in March and starts again in April. So there's like a week, the first week right in there that they have off school, I think, that you could take them also. So you could take those anytime they're off, really. And then the last kind of leave, the third kind of leave, is called Han Kinshu. Han means half. So Han Kinshu is half Kinshu, half study leave. And the half study leave isn't half a day. It's half of whatever your students have off. So this is also used during long vacations especially. So during winter vacation and during summer vacation usually only. And you could take half of the time that the students have off. So, and it's separated by month. So in August, if your students are out of school for, say, 10 days, 10 school days, then you could take 5 days Hankinshu. And every prefecture is going to be different, but in my prefecture and in most prefectures that I've heard of, Hankinshu, you have to write a report. Again, it just depends on who your contracting organization is, but since I work at the Board of Education and at the educational center, they're pretty strict on you have to write a report. So basically, during this Hankinshu, you have to do something pertaining to teaching. And again, this is, every situation's different. In my prefecture, in my school, or at the center, it has to pertain to teaching. Your leave, you have to do some sort of work on those days that pertains to teaching. Other schools in my prefecture, you can take the Hankinshu, but you can do cultural things. So one of my friends took it, and I think she might have went to a museum. I think she went to the museum in Ueno Park. So she went to a museum in Ueno Park, and that was her Hankinshu. So it just depends on where you are. But you have to write a report about it, and if you do the cultural one. I think you have to bring like the ticket slip or something. But for me, I have to do something pertaining to teaching. So I took, on this vacation, I had 3 days that were just completely closed days, or Shogatsu, or New Year's. There were 3 days off of work that I got automatically. Then I took 4 Ninkyu, I took 4 study leave, and I took 3 Hankinshu, 3 half study leave. So for my 3 half study leave, I had to turn in a plan before I went to America of what I was going to do. And what I wanted to do was take video in a mall and show off the mall in America, because the malls in America are different from the malls in Japan. So I wanted to show the difference. But we walked in and immediately a police guard was like, "You can't videotape in here." So I couldn't do that. And I was expecting it, so on my report, I put an alternate report if in any case I can't record. So it wasn't too big a deal for me. But basically, one of my Han Kinshu days, I spent taking videos of me driving and putting that together. The other was taking audio of a restaurant. So you do have the recordings that go with your textbooks, but they're sometimes not so good and they're very unauthentic, I guess. So I wanted to get a real, live conversation at a restaurant. And of course, in North Carolina, most people do have a southern accent. Hence me, you know, I never thought I had a southern accent, but everybody is always like, "Oh, you've got a cute accent." And I'm like, But anyway, so it's very interesting that the students will be able to see, or be able to hear the accent. The waitress didn't want me to videotape her because she wasn't wearing makeup, so I couldn't videotape her. So that was my second day, and on my third day, I actually did 4 days of Hankinshu on accident. But anyway, on my third day, I studied about authentic materials, so materials that are made for L1 speakers, so they're made for native speakers, but that can be used for classrooms. So I did some research and study on that and collected some authentic materials from around my area. And I said I did 4 days. I also did a pretty intensive study on reverse culture shock. It's an interesting topic, you know. It's basically culture shock, but when you go back to your country. So you get used to this country here, your foreign country that you're living in, and then you go back and it's basically you might have adopted the cultures here and the customs here. And when you go back to your home country, it's essentially a foreign country because you've gotten so used to the customs here. And it's interesting to me. Of course, I'm psychology and English major, so I studied English by looking at, you know, teaching English materials, and I studied psychology by looking at reverse culture shock. And being a PA, I found it kind of applicable, maybe. I justified it. Anyway, but yeah, so the 3 days of leave, you have your paid leave, Ninkyu, you have your study leave, Kinshu, and you have your half study leave, Hankinshu. So with the JET program, you have those 3, and if you use them wisely, you can get lots of days off. It's really easy to get extended vacations if you use your days wisely, and if you have a good relationship with your contracting organization. If you say, "I need this day off," and you don't have a good relationship, then it's just like any workplace. You're going to have trouble doing it. But anyway, so I hope that anybody who cares about the JET program finds this informative, and if you don't care about the JET program, then you found it at least interesting to know what kind of leave most people have in Japan. So, thanks for watching. Peace.